Welcome to Espiritu Coffee Chats, where we brew up inspiring conversations over a warm cup of coffee. I'm Valerie, the co-owner of Surge Coffee Co., where we highlight culture and community in all of our drinks.
And I'm Arlene, the owner of Lunasoul Wellness. As a holistic realtor, interior designer, and spiritual coach, I'm excited to bring a unique perspective to our chat.
Together, we'll explore the world of herbalism, spirituality, and the entrepreneurial journey.
We will also dive into our Latina backgrounds and how we navigate the everyday world.
So grab your favorite mug and settle in, and let's dive into today's chat. We're back. Welcome to another episode of the podcast, and today we're talking about cultivating a healthy work-life balance.
Yes, such a great topic. I'm loving this topic. I think we're going to be heading into a new 2025 era.
Yes.
So
holidays are right around the corner.
Yeah, holidays. And so the cool thing about Valerie and I is that we have totally different lifestyles.
Literally.
As far as I have 3 children. One of them lives in heaven, but 3 of them are here on this earth, and a cat and a dog. And Valerie, you have...
I have 2 fur babies, 2 poochers.
Mm-hmm. And one's still a puppy, right?
Ish. He's 2 years old, but he's new to us. So it's only been 4 or 5 months that we've had him. So having to retrain, and I don't think he came from a really good household because he was scrawny and bones and very timid back then. So yeah.
Was he a rescue?
Kind of. This family was moving out of state and just was on Facebook offering him up to anyone who would take him. So I took him.
Here, there's my son. Okay. So, and then you have your fur babies and you're in a relationship.
Yes. I'm in a relationship, with my partner, Chris, who is also co-founder of our business. And he works his 9-to-5 job, and I work the coffee full time. Mm-hmm. And we have employees. We have 3 employees. Yeah, we actually just fired someone. That was fun. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, you said that was fun.
Yeah, everything now I say is fun or nice. This is my reframe. I'm like, cool. Espresso machine is not working. Fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to peel the onion on that one on another podcast episode about firing people and how that makes you feel. So I have an older son. He's 23 and he just moved out of our home. So he's not in the home, but he moved out, and he lives about 5 minutes away. And then I have 2 daughters. One is 14 in high school, 9th grade. And then the other is 10 years old, and she is in 5th grade. And then I have a cat. His name's Lord Shiva. And then Frida, who is my corgi, and she is 2.5. Or no, maybe she's 3. No, she's 3. And my husband, he is an attorney. So he has a very hectic schedule sometimes. And sometimes that ends up on my lap. Mm-hmm. And then, I have my own business, so entrepreneurial. And it can be intense with, having a family and trying to juggle all the things. I don't know that even when my son was here and he was in the mix, I don't think it really mattered because it's once you have more than 2 kids, it's just just keep, it's all the same anyway.
Yeah. Do you think it was different also because he's a boy instead of a girl as the oldest?
I don't know, actually. I mean, I think that he was a really chill kid, and I also have my kids, they're pretty spread out in their age. So, I feel like because he was the oldest and he also just a really chill kid. Nice. He's a Taurus sun sign. So pretty mellow, pretty chill. So he wasn't a boy who was very rambunctious just messing up things. He's messy, but he wasn't he didn't terrorize my house or anything.
Yes.
He had a pretty balanced testosterone for the most part.
Nice.
So it's hard to say because I know some moms, they have a boys first and then they'll be like, oh my God, they're, there's a lot of energy or whatever.
Yeah.
And for him, he was just pretty mellow. And then my daughters are all my kids are pretty mellow. I lucked out in that sense. But I think just balancing the motherhood and the wifing part and, the dog walking and all that stuff. You have to have a structure. So I think I'm pretty structured in my days. I think that's been really helpful for me to do lately is I try to bookend my beginnings and endings of the weeks. So my Mondays are like I try not to see clients. I try to like kind of have the easier like start to the week, or maybe I'll run some errands that I need to get to for the household or whatever. It's kind of like a mixture of like a free day in a sense. But then if there's something that I need to tend to business wise, like, I mean, I'll schedule in like 2 or 3 hours, but the rest of it's pretty loosely open, and I try not to do any clients.
Is that your Monday and your Friday?
My Monday and my Friday. My Fridays probably I end everything at about 2:00.
Oh my God, nice.
Yeah.
Because then also on the weekends, you're like taking the kids to soccer and stuff, right?
Yeah. So my youngest, she plays soccer. Both of them used to play last year, but the older one didn't want to play this year. So, but again, she wants to go to the mall and have to drive her around and, take her here and there in her little social life or whatever.
Yes.
So on the weekends, I do have my bookings like open for the morning, but only for like maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And sometimes I even just block it off because I'm like, I don't want to work this weekend. So I just like block it off. But I try to keep my Mondays and my Fridays pretty open and flexible. And then Tuesday is my real estate day. So I go in the office and I just really do all the focus that I need to do for real estate. And then Wednesday, my daughter gets out of school at like minimum day, so it's like 12, so I don't really have to do much, but that is one of the days where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be at home, I'm just gonna be on my computer and do a lot of computer work. And then Thursdays sometimes I'll do like my client work, like if it's in person or things like that.
So I think because where I'm struggling right now I feel like I don't really have a work-life balance right now, and I was just talking to Chris about this yesterday because I feel like there's moments where I get into a routine and I feel like I'm managing everything well, and that maybe it's just because it's so early on in the business and also I'm doing too much. Like when the business grows a little bit, it demands more of me because I'm doing all of the things. And then I'll have a schedule like written down and then just goes out the window. So like, do you designate different days for different like focus areas, or like how are you doing it?
Yeah, like I think for example, like my real estate day is Tuesdays, and I think that really helps. Like if I need to do any type of prospecting, or I need to work on some social media when it comes to real estate, or work on some editing for a home showing or home tour or whatever, that's all done in that day. And then it's also part of our team meeting is that day too. Nice. So it's kind of like, okay, it helps me organize that part of my business. And then the other couple days are like, okay, I used to do it too. I think it was on Fridays. This was a last year thing and not a this year thing. But last year on Fridays, I would go to a coffee shop, and that would be like my powering, like on the computer, focused, head in, my face in the computer, and like whatever I needed to power through. Yeah. So I felt like that really helped a lot. And only reason why I steered away from it this year was just because I just don't have time anymore to go to the coffee shop. But I love it because I think when I go to the coffee shop, I actually get more productive. Nice. Instead of being at home. Yeah. So, I know why I stopped it, because I started doing, I was going to a Hera Hub networking. I was part of a networking. Okay. What is that called? Like co-working space? Yeah. So, and then I ended that because that got a little hectic for me. So then but I kind of think I want to revisit going back to a coffee shop. I'll go to yours on Friday and power through it. But yeah, I think like setting up days that are, like, for example, somebody was like, you can use astrology to set up your business day. So for example, I think Mars is like action day. So like you want to take a lot of like action steps. Mercury, I think, is on like Tuesday. So it's like, that's going to be your, like, maybe you make all this content or you do your social media or something. Venus is Friday. So it's like, okay, that's the day where you maybe you stop working at 2. Yes. And you do some self-care. So that's a fun way to kind of look at it and give some structure just by going off of the days of the week. And if you're really into like woo-woo astrology and stuff, each day has a specific planet, and then that planet has like an archetype, and then you can kind of play with that.
Okay. ChatGPT. I'm going to go ask it some prompts later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like for me, both me and Chris right now are kind of like on our personal health journeys, and trying to figure out like the best way to heal our bodies. Cause we are having to like not eat out a lot because it's just affecting us in other ways.
Yeah.
And so before we had meal prep services when I could afford it. And now that I don't have an income, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
So it's going back to like, honestly, I'm not even meal prepping. I'm just like trying to cook on the days that I can cook. But it's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. The cooking can be an issue. So for me, I've been going to Trader Joe's because the store's smaller and I just get too like overwhelmed being in like a Vons or an Albertsons or something.
Yes.
And what I started to do a long time ago is I would go on Pinterest and I have a Trader Joe's meal planning board. So then I would just get all these ideas and then I would be like, okay, this is what I'm going to make for the week. And I'd go to my Pinterest board and it says like all the ingredients you need. So then I would just go and, do whatever.
Yeah.
I did that enough to where like now I have these like, I have like 10 meals in my head that I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for this week.
Yes.
So I do my grocery shopping at Trader Joe's because it's just smaller. It's faster. Our Trader Joe's down here in San Diego, that one in Mission Valley is like crazy on Sundays.
Oh my God, the worst.
Yeah, just try not to go on Sundays. Just try to go like on a Friday.
Any
or
grocery
something.
store on Sundays usually.
So I think for me, the cooking part, that's made my life so much easier.
Okay.
Before that, I used to also go to Sprouts.
Yeah.
But the Sprouts here sucks.
Yeah.
In San Diego. The one in Temecula was like really good. Yeah. The one
and
in
Riverside
Temecula
too was way better.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to like up our Sprouts game down here. And I cook Monday through Friday. I make dinners and then I also have to make enough, not that I have to, but I'm such a nice wife where I make enough for my husband to have a lunch.
Okay.
So he has like always make extra so he has food to take to work. And then
for the lunches, or is it just like the extras from the dinner that he'll take, or do you have like a day you meal prep for lunches specifically?
No, we used to do meal preps together when we were all like fit and healthy. And that we used to do on Sundays. We would just make a bunch of like meal preps on Sundays, but I don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah.
So I just make, and that's a good trick for you and Chris is to, make enough for that. If you're cooking, like might as well just make a little bit more and then you can, turn it into like a leftover meal for the next day or something.
Yeah. I try. Oh my gosh, he's so picky sometimes. I'm like, can you please eat leftovers?
Yeah, some people don't like leftovers, and I don't know how to help you there. Like you're making your life a lot harder if you don't like leftovers. But.
Yeah, I try to make him salads because also we're doing more of like a pescatarian, vegetarian diet right now, and like we don't want to reheat fish in like an office. It's not very nice.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yeah. So. And maybe I just haven't been doing it enough. It's been a long time since I like actually cooked. We were doing meal prep for so long that I didn't have to think about it. And now being in that space again, where it's like, not only do I have to think about cooking, but I also need to think about our new dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
So maybe I just need more practice.
Yeah. I think there's, some like good cookbooks or something, because also too I need to get inspired sometimes because I get so bored of my own cooking that I get like I'll get a cookbook and I'm like, ooh, this is like a fun recipe. And so I think even just bringing that into your like getting reignited by cooking and it's not so boring. But I also like Trader Joe's because they have seasonal stuff, so that also makes it fun too.
Yes.
And if y'all want my Pinterest board link, I'll leave it below in the show description so you can check out my Trader Joe's Pinterest board. But that's been a nice little hack for our family. And then my husband cooks. He cooks breakfast on the weekend, so I don't worry about that.
Cool.
And then on Saturday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we eat out for dinner because I get a break.
Yeah. Usually on the weekends we're out for dinner as well because we're both working in the coffee shop, and I'm Monday through Friday I'm usually cooking, and Sundays I'm like weekends I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did enough.
Yeah.
Do you? How do you balance also like spending time with like family, like your immediate family, and then like your extended family, and then like also time for yourself and with friends?
Yeah, on the weekends, that's like pretty much dedicated like family time. Either if we go see my parents or, well, my husband's parents, they don't live down here. They live up north in California. But I mean, my family's not even that close. They're like 2 hours away, in the IE. And then my parents are in Orange County. But, yeah, so the weekends are usually like family, or if I do have some like friend thing going on. But even then, I'm pretty mindful. Like, for example, if I hang out with you, like on a Sunday, I'm going to make sure that I'm hanging out with my family on Saturday. Or like if me and my husband go out on like a date night or whatever, we're making sure we're hanging out with the kids all day. And then, we're stepping away or whatever. So, during the week, I don't really try to do a lot of things. I try to also reserve that for family and I also get tired. So, my days are long. So if I do, it'll be like a networking type thing. Okay. But I don't really try to like mingle during the week either.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, I tried to go to like a networking thing last week, and then I felt overwhelmed by all the other things I needed to catch up on. Yeah. Do you guys do like designated date nights or like a number of date nights per month or anything? Because we usually, like, me and Chris is very like willy-nilly, which usually means we don't go on dates.
Right. I think we were originally trying to do like Thursdays, and do like at least 2 Thursdays out of the month. But then I don't know what happened to that idea. But now we do try to do like, we'll go to like a happy hour at least once or twice a week, or at least like once a week. Like yesterday we went to King's Fisher. That place is really good. Have you ever tried it?
I have not. I've heard such great things.
So and they have happy hour. So, on Sunday. Yes. So we tried there yesterday, and that was really fun. So yeah, we'll do like a happy hour thing, and they start around like 3 or something. So during the day, we're like, okay, get the kids tired, go run them around, do whatever, and then they don't want to do anything after like 3:00 anyway, because my daughters are like cats; they just like want to lay on their bed and watch TV. So then we're like, okay, well, we feel good, so we can leave you guys, and then we do our thing. We're back home by like 7 or 8 maybe. And that's been nice, because we didn't used to be able to date because we had our kids, and they're older now. And they're older now. So we, and then, getting a babysitter costs a lot. And then if you're going to try to go out, have dinner and have a good dinner or have a good time or whatever, like that costs money too. So it was just like really expensive. So now that my middle daughter got older, my oldest son couldn't watch them either because they were in diapers and they're girls. And I'm like, you're not changing any diapers. And so, so it wasn't until we moved to San Diego where I feel like, oh, we actually could like date now. Yeah. Where we had many years of our marriage, like not really being able to date.
Yeah. That's kind of reassuring for me to hear, because I feel like with like our family dynamic is different. Like we have dogs and it's just us, and then our business that we run together. And I mean, I guess for a while it was like we weren't really making our relationship a priority because everything else was demanding so much of our focus. Yeah. And like, I think hearing that like, oh, it fluctuates. Like you're not always going to have like designated date nights or like even go out on dates sometimes. But I think going back and remembering like, hey, we are in this relationship. Like there are these other things that we have to do and take care of, but also honoring our relationship, and like it's time for us to put focus back on that and take each other out.
Yeah. Because if not, it starts to get really dull. And like, you kind of lose sight of like, well, why are you together anyway? And true. Or that fun, that you used to have that when you were attracted to each other initially. So that's been nice, to be able to like go out, and like nurture our marriage.
How long have you guys been married now?
We've been married for 14 years. I was like, how old is my oldest? 14 years, but we've been in November. We met, so 18 years this year.
Oh, wow.
In November. We met November 17th. Oh. Yes, I remember. Yeah. So, we've been together since we were in our mid-20s. So, and we've had to, evolve, and our relationship evolved clearly because we had
For
kids,
sure.
and then the kids are now getting older. So now that's a new chapter.
Yeah.
I have a business,
Yes.
when we first got together, like, I think I was working at a bank and going to school, and he was going to law school. So like we've been through various different types of chapters, like what you and Chris are currently in right now. Like, you're not working your corporate job anymore. You're now like running your business.
Yeah.
And he's co-running it with you, and then he also works a full-time job, and then you have 2
Yes.
fur babies. So I think I guess like having some structure helps, but it's like I'm not one of those people that is too rigid in my schedule either.
Yeah.
I kind of like a little bit of freedom and to have like my fuck up moments, I guess. But I think the thing that keeps me sane is that I am very like good about my evenings with the family, and I try not to like, if I leave one day out of the week or something because something's coming up for like a networking, or maybe some of the girlfriends want to get together or whatever, but I don't try to, it's like one day maybe, if that.
Yeah.
And then I try to cut off like all the business hours and all that stuff like at 5. So
Okay.
shops closed at 5.
Nice.
And it's like, okay, now it's family time.
Yes.
And I'm really like a good gatekeeper on my family time. So I think that's actually helpful for me. I don't know how, like, my family holds me accountable for that. So like for you though, like, I don't know what I would do if my kids weren't around, like on how I would even structure my evenings.
Yeah. It's challenging. Usually Chris gets home around like 6 p.m. And it depends on the day, really. Like, sometimes I'll still be, because since I work the coffee shop also as a barista, I call it like my 2 shift. So I'll have like a barista shift, and then in the evening I'll start my second shift, which is usually like roasting and prepping and any of the admin work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like by the time Chris gets home, I'm either roasting, or usually I'm like exhausted, and the last thing I want to do is cook food, or do anything really.
Yeah.
I just want to lay in bed. So yeah, I think maybe I need to do better boundaries, kind of like how you have like shop closed at 5. It comes in waves. Some days I'm like, okay, 6 p.m. done, no more. But yeah, lately it's just been a little bit overwhelming. So maybe I need to get back to that, because I don't know. And then probably adding more structure. Like, I would like to get back to like exercising and doing all of that stuff. And so having more of a structure scheduled, like you said.
Yeah. I am a Virgo, so we're naturally structured.
And I'm a Pisces, so I just want to be free.
I just want to be free in the water. But I think that also, my mom was also a Virgo, so I grew up in a kind of a pretty structured household too.
Okay.
And it just probably like made it easier for me to be that way, because my mom she's also a Virgo, so she was already kind of like that, and then I'm like her Virgo child. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's get more structure in this house. So I think and it's so, when it comes to parenting children, even dogs, even for babies, like, they know, like, when you have more like when you're structured in your day, they're less anxious. Like, I noticed Frida's like she knows, okay, mom's gonna be gone from like 2 or from 9 sometimes in the morning, and she'll be back at 2, and like she's just chilling. I come home, but if it's like later than that, I can tell she's like, where you been at all day, and
for sure.
And then the kids too, like they know, okay, dinner is at the same time every day. Bedtime's at the same time every day. Nice. Weekends, this is usually like there's a kind of a structure to it, so and that I think helps my kids not be as like, what are we doing? Right. Or like, what's going on? Or, they kind of know like the lay of the land, and that allows them to feel like they don't have to, I don't know. Cause my parent, I was raised with my mom always home too. So I don't really know what that is like, where you're like, wait, what are we doing? Like, what time are we eating dinner? Like, I don't know what that is. So I think that's one of the things that I brought from my family, was like being able to have that like structured time. Like, this is the time we're eating dinner. This is the time we go to bed. This is what we do, or whatever. Like, they even know, I mean, I work out every day for the most part, at least like Monday through Friday, maybe Saturday. and I go to the gym at the same time. Like I'm one of those, like, same time, I'll be there. Like there's just certain things, like I would say gym, tan, laundry. I sound like Jersey Shore. But gym's usually the same time. Dinner's usually the same time. Like those are two things that I'm like pretty structured with. That I kind of have those two set things in place, and then everything in the middle is like, you know, it's there, but it's like not too rigid, I guess.
Yeah, so you can like switch things out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's what keeps my lifestyle balanced, because I'm starting my morning with working out, and then that actually helps me get my anxiety or stress or anything. And I actually listen to all my podcasts.
Oh, nice.
And my YouTubes. So that's like my self like learning time, I guess, at the gym. And then after that, then I'm like, okay, work's gonna start, and usually by that time it's like 10. And then, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say sometimes I don't work late at night. Sometimes I do, but I try not to do that all the time.
Yeah.
And usually if I do, it's like after dinner, the kids are out of my hair or they're doing whatever. And then I'm on my computer really quick for maybe like a half hour, an hour. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny listening like this conversation right now. I'm like, damn, maybe I just need to get more disciplined in my day. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess, something I've been reflecting on a little bit, of like how to get back more of the life instead of the work. Because I'm very much a workaholic, and I think like my household was opposite from yours, where both of my parents were working.
Yeah.
And there was periods of time where we had one of my grandmas there, but I don't think we had a lot of structure. And for a lot of the times, I was the one in charge of taking care of the family and cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I was doing. I definitely did not have structure.
Like, I guess we're going to eat at whatever time, whenever I'm done.
Yeah. Like, what are we going to eat? I don't know. Let's see what's in the fridge. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those, I guess, downloads I've been getting lately, is like just being more disciplined with my time and structure of my days.
Yeah, I think, well, like I said, I think my kids definitely make me have to be that way. But I also want to say, like, I did come from that being modeled from growing up, and my mom, again, being pretty, like, structured for us. So I feel like I was like, oh, well, I guess that's what you do. So then I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I think my husband, he came from a childhood, too, that where both parents worked. His mom's like, dude, eat whatever. The food's on the counter. Like, whenever you want to eat. And I'm over here like, no, it's 6 o'clock. You got to eat dinner. And everybody eats at the table and all that. So he's definitely nice. Like now he's like taking on a lot of my, I guess, upbringing.
For sure.
And I think that actually like helps him too. Cause he comes home and he's like, oh, okay, dinner's made. Like he also knows the lay of the land. So I think just me naturally being a structured person kind of helps. But I think when it comes to the business, like this past year, it was starting to get like really hard. Like, how can I squeeze in all these things that I need to do? Like cleaning.
Oh my God.
Cleaning, or like laundry. Like I haven't even been able to do my own laundry.
Yeah.
Like things are starting to kind of pile up too, where I'm feeling like you, like I don't have time to do all these like little small things throughout my day. Like laundry or cleaning the toilet or things like that are starting to like now become overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I'm even thinking about like putting in my calendar, like, okay, we're going to spend one weekend a month. Like kids, get your little hands out and start scrubbing walls and doing whatever, because I was also raised with my mom doing everything. So I think that kind of hindered me as well, because then I feel like I have to do everything, but technically like I don't. So, you know, it's just, I guess more structure is what I also need on like the little small things. There's a couple things I could fine tune.
Right. Yeah. I mean, always fine tuning and improving and getting better. Yeah. So for people like me, or for anyone else who wants to improve their work-life balance, I don't know what I'm trying to think of, like, how do we do that? Like, is it just practice? Is it like writing out your ideal schedule?
Yeah, that could be a good one. Like, what would your day look like if you could have the perfect day, like with managing all the things, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I noticed that. So I'm going to bring back an Ayurveda. Ayurveda is very much about your daily like lifestyle. It's like all the little things that you do add up to something, right? It's like the little habits, right? So Ayurveda, they always recommend to start with one habit and like implement that. And then if you think about, I think there's like what's that called? The Atomic Habits.
Oh, habit stacking.
It's a book, Atomic.
Yeah. I think it's called Atomic Habits.
But it takes like 21 days for you to create, like start to ingrain like a pattern in your brain, of creating a habit. But if you try to do too much, then that can be overwhelming. And then you just go right back to where you started.
Right.
Which is nothing. For sure. So I would just say like pick one thing that you can be more, you can like hold yourself accountable to. Like maybe it's eating dinner at the same time every day. Or, like I said, I go to the gym at the same time every single day. So just like one thing to like add to your like structure. And then maybe once that feels good, then you kind of add, okay, and I'm ready to add more. And I think too, it's also having good conversations with like your partners and the people that you live with in your household, whether it's roommates, coworkers / partners, husbands, all that stuff. I think like that, like even again, another thing, like as soon as we're done with dinner, me and my husband, we take our dog for a walk, and it's like usually around the same time every day. And
you guys walk together,
and we walk together, and then that's us like, catching up. We're not in front of the kids, so we can talk about inappropriate things. We're not at the dinner table with them. So, but that's like our our little like couple time out, and it's like maybe just 10 minutes, but it's also time for Frida to sniff around and do her thing. And I think that's like a nice habit that we've started, I would say like last year.
Nice.
Where before we used to just be like, you go walk the dog. No, you go walk the dog. Where now we're like, all right, we'll just go together.
Yeah. Me and Chris used to do that. That was like our one thing. We would do like walk the dogs together. And we had a no phone rule. And that kind of like went out the window. So maybe revisiting that.
Yeah. I think maybe like writing all the things that like you do like and you used to do that maybe you want to get back on track with, or starting a new habit, like, something small. And that's something that I do love about Ayurveda is like, it's like the small daily habits are so impactful in your overall health and your overall well-being, especially if they're healthy habits.
Yes.
So I think, we're coming into like a new year. So everybody's usually like, I want to do some new habit. Well, here you go.
Yes. Start now before the new year. Get ready so you have the energy and the momentum for 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my one thing is going to be the gym. I think I'm going to have to split it up and do like morning workouts on the days where I'm not at the coffee shop and evening workouts on the days that I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that I want to incorporate is reading. I used to read a lot before I had my I always had my son with me, so he doesn't really count. But before I had like my girls, my daughters, I used to read a lot. I had more time to read. Yeah. Now, like even my husband's like, you don't read like as much as you used to before, and I'm like, because I don't got no time.
Yeah.
But I'm like. But I miss reading, and I miss even reading like leisurely. Like sometimes if I do read, it's because it's like I'm learning I'm reading on something. Like
our business book clubs.
Yeah, business book club, or a lot of it too was like when I was in Ayurveda school, so I had to read all these books or whatever. So, but I haven't read like a good like story book.
Yeah, for fun.
Yeah, for funsies. And I want to get back, like I'll just buy an Audible.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, Audible.
Yeah. The audiobooks.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, no, I need to get back into reading because I did like that. And I think it's like, it's one of those things where it's like a movie in your head. You can like picture it or whatever. So hopefully I incorporate that. I don't know how. I was like, maybe even 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, maybe even 10.
Yeah. Maybe I'll yoni steam and read at the same time.
Ooh, we love it. Multitasking.
Yeah. Take care of the yoni and then read. Everything's all good. Maybe that'll be something I do next year because I do want to incorporate yoni steaming again. I've been not good at it lately.
Yeah.
And I want to, because it's just, if you ever yoni steam, it's like amazing.
I have not, but I am down to try it because I feel like I could use some.
Maybe we'll do a podcast where we're both yoni steaming and talking at the same time.
Oh God, that would be a great one for people to watch and listen to.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. I guess, sure.
Why not? We're here. Why not?
So give us any tips that you want to share with us. If you know, you have a family, you don't have a family. Like, what is the things that have helped you? Like, for example, mine was going to Trader Joe's and getting my little like food boards together and not having to think about it and just looking at, you know, my little Pinterest and like, oh, okay, that's what I get. I even take screenshots. Like I just take screenshots of like the picture that's on the Pinterest thing. And I'll just have like 5 screenshots and then I'll go on my phone. I'm like, okay, this is what we're getting. And then that's that. So that's been really, really helpful. What is one thing that you want to?
My one thing, for sure the gym. And then I think also, like you said, conversations with your partner, trying to see if I can offload some of the stuff that I'm doing onto him. Like, even if it's just grocery shopping or Instacarting, whatever, but at least it's one less thing for me to do and he can be in charge of that.
Oh, I like that. Instacarting. That sounds fun because there's no excuse for not to be able to do that. It's like you're on your phone. Like, you don't have to go to the store. No. You know, you just like add to the, you know, and he can even like be like, here, do you approve, you know, of the list or whatever? And you're like, yeah, and then boom, it's done.
Yeah. Even if you were like, this is the meal I want to have this week, I'd be like, okay, bet. Buy it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So I think that, but yeah, if anyone has recommendations on how to achieve the optimal work-life balance, a healthy work-life balance, let us know. Share it.
Yes. Share it with us. We want to hear all the things.
Yeah. Okay. Until next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Espiritu Coffee Chats.
We hope you enjoyed our conversation and found a little inspiration to take with you.
If you loved what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more.
Until next time, keep the spirit alive and the coffee brewing. Cheers! Ow, ow, ow.